Hello and welcome to C++ Weekly. I'm your host, Jason Turner. Once a week I pick some topic of interest in C++ and dig into it some live coding. In this episode, I'm going to wrap up my coverage of the new attributes in C++ 17 by covering the nodiscard attribute. Now, nodiscard is interesting to me because it, in a sense, addresses one of the main criticisms with return value error codes versus exceptions. So an argument for using exceptions is that it's impossible to ignore them, but error codes can be returned. Now again, for this example, I am using a latest version of Clang. This is supported as of Clang 3.9, so you should be able to easily test it on your own computer. But let's create a function. So we're calling something and we're not doing anything with its return value. Now, if we tell the compiler nodiscard, we are saying this return value from this function is important. It should not be discarded. So we now get a warning from the compiler saying, uh-oh, you've ignored the return value of a function. So you actually have to do something with it. Now, of course, you have an unused I, and if you really wanted to, you kind of have to work hard at this point to explicitly ignore a return value without getting the compiler to give you some sort of a warning. Let's do return I there. So now we get our nodiscard and things work as expected without any warnings. Now, interestingly, nodiscard cannot only be applied to functions, it can also be applied to structs. So getting this back to the nominal case, we're simply returning a myArr object. But if we wanted to, we can tell the compiler that this struct really should never be ignored. So now we don't have to specify that something is returning something that shouldn't be discarded. We are getting the warning anyhow because something returns a type that cannot be discarded or should not be discarded. So let's try to see what all this works with. We know from looking at this that it works with struct. Let's try an enumeration type. And we can see it does work here too. So that's good. And if it works with structs and enums, then it would also work for classes and unions and any other type. So there you have it, nodiscard. This gives you a way of perhaps eking out that extra efficiency when you need to, when you're trying to avoid using exceptions, while still giving you some level of guarantee that you are properly handling error codes from your function calls.
Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and check out any of the links below.